الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم.
In my class, we went out to the Garden of Peace. For those that don't know, it's in Ilford. It's a Muslim cemetery. It's a very beautiful place. From the get-go, you go inside. There's a huge courtyard. Immediately, you just feel peace and content. It's really beautiful. And each grave is exactly the same. Very, very, very simple. There is no shrines, there's no like building on top of it, there's no like Quranic verses, none of this type of innovation, bid'ah stuff. It's very simple. In fact, without reading the actual plates, there is no actual way of being able to tell who is who. So the idea is that everyone is equal. The graves were like a fist and a half high. So it was like the hump. There's an authentic hadith, inshallah, that it's like a camel hump. So that's just how high the gravel, the ground is raised. So it's like a fist and a half. And yeah, subhanallah, it looks like a little mole-pal, but obviously larger, on a larger scale. And yeah, this whole trip was we spoke about death. We spoke about preparation. We talked about how to do the ghusl to the body, and a really kind of self-reflecting lesson that death is a reality. There is no escaping it. Every soul shall taste death, and that's where we're heading towards. The land, the space they have is for 10,000 people. Yeah, and they started out in 1988. Okay, so for 10,000 people, they kind of predicted, or was hoping, the intention was there to at least last around 75 years. Okay, it's 12. They said in 12 years, right? They said in 12 years, 75. I believe this is right. Going off the memory from today's lesson, that 75% of the land was already filled. Now you have to take into account that there are new Muslims continuously coming to Islam. So there are the second generation Muslims or Asians that are settled here, and the sunnah is to wherever you die is where you should be buried. So to go back and fly your family, or not your family, but I mean, it depends if if there's been like a accident, everyone's in it, or your parents, if your parents have passed away, to fly them back home and stuff like that. It's no point. It doesn't really serve any purpose. I mean, that might be their wishes, but there's a lot of things to take into consideration. For example, the liquid that is used for it to enable to kind of fly and at the altitude and whatever else is pumped with alcohol, and this is something that is not obviously permissible. So there's a big risk. If you want to die, you want to do it the halal way, and therefore you're kind of compromising your deen. So it's best to just do it in the way that's kind of been prescribed to us, and to fulfill those requirements. I hope it benefits you guys.
Okay, what happens? The brother just asked me just now, do you do the burial here and the janazah here? The burial, obviously, yes, sorry. Do you do the janazah here, or do you go to the masjid? It depends on the family. When I organize a funeral, I ask the family what they want to do. I give them option 1, option 2, to make it easy for the family. Whatever they want to do, I'll do exactly what they want to do. Because at the end of the day, this moment in their time is their hardest time. Okay? All I say to you, get me the paperwork, I'll give you the options, whatever you want to do. You want to go to the masjid? When I'm dealing with families from your side of the woods, Whitechapel, they say, brother, take me to East London Masjid. No problem. I take them there, I say, what do you want to go there for? Big Jummah. Okay? Or all our relatives are there. So it's not a problem. Okay, I'll take you wherever you want to go. When there's people at other masjids that want to go, no brother, we want to do everything at Garden of Peace. What do you want to do there? Ghusl? I'm going to show you. Janazah in the hall over there. the body's outside. The sunnah way to do janaza is the body is outside. And then the burial takes place straight away. So everyone comes to one place. When you come to one place and no one's going to get lost, everyone's given a time. Time is very important, okay? When we say, yeah, we'll be there, it's not a wedding. Yeah, you're given a time of 1 o'clock, you should be there 1:45. You should be there 2:30. You should be there early. Why? Because Salah time is going to be 1:30, the whole time. Pray Salatul Janazah, and then pray Salatul Janazah straight away. Pray Sunnah Nafil. We bring the body up here. We'll put the body on the footpath that you just saw over there. It'll be in the coffin, because that coffin is for transport. Say I'm coming from Whitechapel Mosque. I will come from Whitechapel Mosque, I'll reach here 2:30, 2:45. Okay? I go into the office, I give my paperwork, and I make payment. And when I say make payment, you make the full payment on the day before the burial. So when you say to brother, how much that's going to cost? The cost for the grave is 2,600. The charges for the funeral director is from £700 to £1,000. Depends on how far you have to go, whatever. You pick the body up, you do the ghusl, you take it to the masjid. Now you've come here to the office, you're given the green form. That green form is the burial order. Without that, nothing's happening. Okay? So you haven't got that, you can't arrange any funeral. So I tell the family, yes, I can arrange a funeral, get me the paperwork. They sort the paperwork out, family members go and do that. They give it to me, I pick the body up from the hospital, I'll show you how the ghusl takes place, exactly what happens from that stage. Now we're here, we make the payment to the office, he gives me a grave number. If you just look around you at the moment, there's a stick that's there, a stake, on there is a grave number. This is AL section. We write the name of the grave number on the one side and the name of the deceased on the other side. Just a reminder to the people that if they come in, before the headstone's laid on there, it takes about 3 to 4 months for the headstone to come. Once that is laid on there, the family know where it is. You come here, you take the box is taken out of the car, put onto the floor. There's a stretcher put on the floor as well. I should have really bought the dummy here, but obviously we'll do that.
You're a dummy anyway.
Yeah, I'll be the dummy anyway. The body is in the coffin. It's taken out of the coffin and put onto the stretcher. Once it's put onto the stretcher, I ask 2 brothers to go into the grave, okay? And then they'll go into the grave, then I'll explain to them what happens here. The coffin, the stretcher is now carried along here. Obviously you walk around, and I'll get 3 brothers on one side of the stretcher, 3 on the other side, holding straps over their shoulder. So once the straps are over there, I'll tell them over here, now I'm going to ask you to lift. You lift the body up, you take the stretcher away. So now they got the body on a stretcher. So you got 3 along this side, 3 along this side, holding the straps like this. And the 2 brothers underneath, they will lower the straps like this. He will just guide, the 2 brothers there will guide him down all the way till he touches the floor. Then we'll turn the body on the right hand side. With the straps, you just pull the body like this way, and the body comes on the right hand side. Legs will be that side, back against the wall here. Head this side, facing Qibla, which is this way. He'll be sleeping on his right hand side. Okay? Once he's settled, I will tell the brothers, give him a ladder to come up. Then I will jump down. Then I'll go
down. You'll go down on a ladder.
Yeah, they'll go down the ladder, but I'm going to jump down anyway.
So let him go down. The reason why we are, can anybody think, there are youngsters here. Why do we have to put in the body on its right side? Can anybody tell me? Why is it a sunnah?
Wood.
Okay, fine. Why would you have to put on the right side? Okay. The reason being is that our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is to say that whenever you bury a person, bury in the manner I have prescribed to you when you go to sleep. And when you go to sleep on your right hand side. That is why you need to go. That is the sunnah. Okay. So that's why the entire body needs to go in a manner that it faces Qibla. Okay. And then you can see how the wood is.
Okay, once they've laid the body down, they'll turn it onto the right hand side.
As explained to you.
Yeah. And then once he's done it, we'll just clean up the body a bit. Then we'll get the wood, which brothers will pass down to me. So he's laying on his right hand side here. The wood across there like this, at a diagonal shape. So the body is tucked underneath here and the wood will cover it. 1,
All the way through.
2. So as you can see, the body's now getting covered. And it takes 10 pieces of wood right across there, so the whole body is covered.
Alright, so this is the way why we do it. Remember, the earth does not go directly on top of the body. It will go on top of this wood. Okay? There are two types of graves we have allowed. One is called a shik method, one is called a lahad method. This is an improvised lahad method. The real lahad method is where you can see right at the bottom, Imtiaz can just direct. At the bottom, yeah. So at the bottom, we need to dig a hole in the bottom, right? L shape, and the body just simply slides in. But we can't do this in this country because if I did that, this whole grave will collapse. The other method is called a shik method. With a shik method is that the wide bit will be up to 3 feet, and on the bottom it will be a narrow bit, and you put the wood on top of it. Once again, we can't do that here because of the soil structure. They are the two methods which are allowed. So we have got dispensation from the scholars that you can use this as an improvised method. So that's why. So if you are coming from, say, Malaysia or anybody else, you will see those two methods have been done. Either Bangladesh, Pakistan, Middle East. Middle East, you'll only see lahad, where the body is just pushed underneath it. But if you go to Makkah and Medina, you will see exactly how they do it. But we can't do it in this because of the soil condition. That is all. Once the particular would have been done, as is shown by him, that's the time when he will have to come out, and we need to put in 3 handfuls of earth. If you are there on my talk, I don't know whether you heard it or not, this is where we are trying to remind you of Surah Taha, verse number 55, when it says, Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratal ukhra. That is what is called mustahab. It is a desired act for each and every one of you to put in 3 handfuls of earth into the grave. And then you can put in as much as you want thereafter. So we'll leave him here and then let him rest here.
Okay, so today we're at the Garden of Peace, Muslim cemetery. We've just been listening to a short talk by a gravesite that just basically the hole's been dug there. So what's your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Well, it brings back to the realities is that we are all going to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day, and that the Sheikh earlier said something very interesting, and that is every single person is equal in the eyes of Allah, except from our deeds. So no matter how wealthy someone is or how poor someone is, every grain is exactly the same, and the only thing we take with us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our deeds. And this is very important because we live in a society where you are portrayed and you are looked upon on how wealthy you are, how successful you are in your worldly affairs, your worldly life. But really, in the eyes of Allah, our success is based upon our deeds. So this has been a very interesting day, and I've never seen a cemetery like this in my life. I've visited Christian cemeteries, Jewish cemeteries, but as you can see around you, every single burial is exactly the same. So alhamdulillah, it's a very good example, and this is very good dawah actually, because this is the principles of Islam, that we shouldn't judge other people except on their character.
So you'd advise everyone to come down and visit?
Yeah,
even non-Muslims, just to see that.
Even
I mean, they say Hajj is a place where you see everyone as equals, but you could also, without doing a pilgrimage, you could also come down here, take a local trip if you're in London, and you could see the same going on in terms of the gravesides. Nothing's kind of overdone, no fanciness.
No.
You know.
And it's a very beautiful place to be. It's very, very peaceful, and even Sheikh here was saying earlier that even the trees in the Quran that I mentioned, they're all here on this burial site, so it feels quite a holy place in a way.
Premature, 28 weeks. Now, the full term is 42 weeks, so that's even half the time. And because they were twins, it's going to make it difficult for the second one. So when they were born, they were in incubators at Hamilton Hospital, and then she just said, "Brother, make dua for me. I've just had twins, the family got in touch with me, whatever." Alhamdulillah, we were really happy. After 10 years of trying, they had twins. So we were really over the moon, everyone, alhamdulillah. After 2 days, first one passed away. Yeah. And then they got in touch with me. They said, obviously because I'm family, they said we want to bury as soon as possible. He died in the morning. I went to Homerton Hospital. I took the father to the registrar office, which was in Hackney. We went there. He couldn't even speak. He couldn't even write anything. He was shaking. That's how much he was so upset. We bought the funeral here. We did the janazah there. We did the ghusl here. We did the janazah here. And I buried him here. Right here, there. On the 26th of April. Okay? 26 days later, the second one passed away. And that time, absolutely distraught the whole family as well. The thing is, when you're at 27 weeks, 28 weeks, it was a very hard time for the family. Alhamdulillah, I brought them here again. And what I did was, because I'm very well friendly with the management here, mashallah, thank you very much. I told the brother, this grave of the brother, leave it separate. Just leave it alone. Leave it for me and carry on with the other graves along here. If Allah wills, He will give him life. If Allah takes him, Allah will take him. We did along this side. 28 days later, I found out the management. I said, dig me grave number 6. They dug the grave here. When the family came here, when we did the burial, and the father turned around and said to me, they buried together. He was absolutely stunned. He said, he thanked me at the end of the day. It's nothing morbid, it's nothing that, Allah knows at the end, because when you're 26 weeks, 28 weeks, it's very, very difficult for a child to carry on living, especially when it's twins. Okay? So alhamdulillah, we buried them here together, full ghusl, full janazah, this side here. That side, as I told you earlier on, is up to full term. Just want to mention about this grave here, just now here. As you can see, there's no flowers, there's no nothing on these ones. This family came to me to arrange the funeral for their child. It was a Sunday, I was already doing a janazah here. They spoke to me, I brought them here, I showed them the grave. I said, this is the grave, this is the headstone. And when I said this is the headstone to the woman, to the mother, she said, is that all I get? I said, if you can see, everyone is the same. In Islam, everyone all the same. I said, that's all you're going to get. And she said to me, her face just dropped. And while she was standing there, she said to me, I want you to hire me a horse and carriage from the home to here. You know what horse and carriage is? You know when they get mainly these Caribbean funerals, they get a horse and cart and then they put the funeral in there, the coffin in there, and they drive to the graveyard. She said, I want you to get me a horse and cart. I said, how old was the child? 1 year old. And I went, sister, it's not Islamic to do that, but whatever you want, I'll do for you. I've never done that before for any Muslim funeral. I will find out for you tomorrow what it's going to cost. She goes, cost doesn't matter. Whatever it costs, I want it done. I said, okay, I will do it for you. Unfortunately, I got in touch with her afterwards, and I didn't think she was going to come to this just because of the headstone. She wanted all a big plaque made on, like I told you earlier on. And then I got in touch with the family, and they said, oh, we're going to go to so-and-so mosque because we're going to have the dinner there and whatever. But the baby needed a post-mortem. So on the whole week went past. This was Sunday. Friday, they released the body. They did the ghusl, they did the funeral at Eastern Lee Bridge Road Mosque, and they brought it by horse and cart here. And she buried the baby there. And on that day, I wasn't here, I was somewhere else. And the brother will tell you the amount of flowers they bought.
Okay, let me also explain to you. In Islam, although it says flowers is not forbidden, right? It is not a benefit to the person concerned. In Islam, we must always do things with hikmah. You must never tell anybody that don't do this, because inevitably they'll do it. It's always better to tell them with an understanding that, listen, this is not going to benefit the person. What you need to do is the same amount of money you spend on flowers, spend it on charity for the sadaqah jariyah for the person who's passed away. And at the same time, people are human beings and they are emotional at that stage. So if you tell them when it's fresh in their mind, they will take great umbrage and you will be actually hurting them more. So it's better to tell them over a period of time to say, this is not right, this is what you should do. And this is what Islam is all about. It's about hikmah. And how how you need to tell. Of course, this is not permitted, but you have to tell them in a manner which will also ease their pain, and at the same time will be able to get the message across. You must never do something which will make the person rebel. If you could tell them this is haram, everything like that, there is a chance they will say, okay, fine. If that's the case, I don't want to follow, because this person, this child was the only child they had. For them, there was the only thing they had in mind, the only thing that was the whole life for them. When something is taken over like that, it's very difficult for them to accept.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Yasin wal-Qur'anil Hakim. Innaka laminal mursalin على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم.